Good morning. Can you hear in the back?
Yes. Yes.
Welcome this morning. I'm Erik Fromme, one of the assistant teachers here at KCC, and joined by Zilpa and Bill and Dora, and it's our privilege to welcome you to KCC this morning. And a special welcome to those of you who are new or relatively new, or who are here after an absence. And also to those of you who are watching on streaming. Good morning and welcome. And as it's Father's Day, a special note of gratitude for fathers. And may they enjoy today good relationships with their children and their families. Today's schedule is a little different. For the first hour or so, it will be our usual practice of calm abiding, followed by a break. After the break, I think Lama Michael will be coming. Is that true? And he's going to lead a discussion on a number of subjects. And that will take us up until probably a little after 11. But we begin our practice today, as usual, by going for refuge. And although it's Father's Day, we find there are many changes afoot. I don't know if your lives are like this, but in my life, Father's Day always seems to get a little short shrift. Maybe it's not just me. But today I find my mind dwelling on the four thoughts, specifically the second thought that turns the mind towards practice, death and impermanence. For me personally, this is the last time that I will be leading meditation as an assistant teacher at KCC. As my family's in the process of moving to Boston and leaving the life that we've built here. And then for us as a Sangha, today is the last Sunday morning meditation here at 73 Northeast Monroe. That represents a garland of practice that stretches back 30 years. And of course it will continue next week at the New Urban Center in Skidmore. But it's worth just taking a minute to be here, in this place, in this time. So let's do that for a minute in silence. I think there may be no good advice that is more universally ignored than don't forget to stop and smell the roses. It's not that we don't believe it. It's more like we lack the willingness and have not developed the capacity. It is very, very difficult to fully appreciate something precious. The longer we have it, the easier it becomes to take for granted. But that indifference changes the instant we realize at a gut level that what we have taken for granted will be lost. And the king of appreciating the preciousness of life and all the ways in which we're blessed is the recognition that we too will die. Even though I work with people who are seriously ill and who frequently die of their illnesses, I still find it very difficult to wrap my mind around the idea that I too will die. That I really don't know when or how. One of my friends who works with childhood bereavement at the Dougie Center summarizes the veil that protects us from this realization. She summarizes it as, yes, I know I'm going to die, but not really. Not me, and certainly not soon. That veil is so dense that whenever I hear people say, I'm not afraid of dying, I wonder if they can really see it. In order to let go of our fear, in order to develop our capacity to stop and smell the roses, which for me means being fully in our lives in this moment, with an attitude of appreciation and gratitude. In order to develop the capacity to do this, we need to integrate the truth of impermanence. And the opportunity to do this practice as a community happens when something or someone that we cherish and value is lost or comes to an end. In order to learn from these experiences, we simply need to experience them. And most of the time that means feeling the loss. It's easy to try to bypass grief. As a culture, we prize stoicism, or we think, oh, we can just shake it off and continue, and many times we can. But it's hard to appreciate the price we pay when we do that. Because grief does not just go away. So let's take another minute, maybe 2 this time, to feel whatever feelings we have about leaving this wonderful place that has served faithfully as a support for our spiritual lives for so very long. And now from that place, let's recite our traditional refuge and bodhicitta prayer.
Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness. Until the summit of enlightenment is reached, I and all beings go for refuge to the sources of true refuge. I will now practice the absorption of calm abiding in order to release all beings from their particular suffering and establish them in lasting peace and happiness.
One of my mentors says that there are 4 things that people need to say and to hear at the end of their lives. And I think he probably also says that these are the things that we need to say and hear whenever we come to an important ending. And the 4 things are, please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. And I love you. He says if we can say these things, then often we can find it in ourselves to say goodbye. As we begin our calm abiding practice, I'll give some instructions for that. For the past several months I've been sharing a practice that I got from Norman Fisher. And I've been doing it every day, so it just makes sense to me that I would share it with you here. The practice has 7 steps, and you don't have to remember them all. But if you can, that's fine. And if you can only remember one, you can practice that one. But first we'll walk through all 7 together. We begin, as always, by being aware of our body sitting. Feel any sensations, any strain. Adjust your posture. And then establish your breathing in your belly. Step 1, breathing in. I am aware I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I'm aware that I'm breathing out. If you want, you can say those words to yourself inwardly. The important thing is to enact them. To really be aware when you're breathing in that you're breathing in. Step 2, breathing in, I bring peace to my breathing. Breathing out, I bring peace to my breathing. Step 3, breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I am aware of my whole body. Feel your breath illuminating and infusing through your whole body. Feel your whole body illuminated by your breath. Step 4, breathing in, I bring peace to my body. Breathing out, I bring peace to my body. Here, if there's any tension in your body, you can just feel it release and relax. Step 5, breathing in, I feel joy. Breathing out, I feel joy. Norman says, joy is an odd word. I don't think we really understand what it means. We usually associate it with intense pleasure, but he says, I think real joy is something else. So maybe let's, without having any idea what real joy is, just practice like this. Breathing in, I feel joy. Breathing out, I feel joy. And perhaps we'll discover what joy is. Step 6, breathing in, I let go. Breathing out, I let go. So if you've been feeling some joy or sadness or whatever you're feeling, let it go and let everything go. As if you're taking your last breath, totally at peace. Step 7. And breathing in this moment, which is fading. I am breathing out this moment, which is fading. Breathing in and out in the middle of time. So that's the practice. And as I said, you don't need to remember all the steps. But I invite you to practice one or more that seem suitable for you at this time, right now. Until Omze rings the bell. adjust your posture or stretch a little bit, please do.
By its virtue may I quickly realize Mahamudra and establish all beings without exception in this state.
All right. Well, let's see, as always, there are things to make tea with in the back of the kitchen, and please help yourself to a cup of tea. And there are 3 bathrooms in the house, one in the back of the kitchen if you just walk straight back. If you go up the stairs to the 2nd floor, there's a bathroom on the right. And if you go down the stairs into the basement, there's a 3rd bathroom to the right. And let's see, I suspect we have announcements.
Good guess.
Well, I think the main ones you've already mentioned. Which I just said the main ones Erik has already mentioned. And that we are indeed right at the moment of transition. And we'll talk more about that after our break. And over the next week, there are many opportunities to do different kinds of things here, there, elsewhere. You can talk to the usual suspects if you are so inclined to help out.
And next week, come to 4936 Northeast Skidmore, just to make that really clear. Same time.
And there will be an evening practice here tonight.
That's right,
Yep.
and there will be Chambersig here Wednesday night, and today we'll be doing some talking and some more concluding prayers, and Wednesday night we'll do more of the same, at least more prayers. Can't do too many of those. And Thursday night the mind training will be here, and then that will be our last group activity of formal activity here. So I think we should have our break. We have a lot of things to cover after the break, and Lama Michael will be here, and so enjoy your break, I think.
Do you have a
Is there something else?
The young adult group will continue as usual, first Friday of July. And if you haven't already talked to me about the Q&A with Kempo Ricochet for the young adult group, just come and talk to me privately. Thank you.
So if you didn't hear, young adults first Friday, and they will meet with Kempo Rinpoche, speak with Polly. Okay.
Do you know who it is?